Welcome back. This is Azanar coming back to you with another episode of Knights of Honor here. Last time, we were beginning our raiding assault on York, who is still completely defenseless. He has no armies in his territory, while at the same time building up strength in our second army. And we're going to focus after that on upgrading our kingdom power to 5 and building our economy. We have another unit of peasants here. We can continue to build up our strength. And what I want to do here is max out this army as well. Now if we go to Guillaume here, we can see that this meter under here is beginning to be filled. This is experience, and experience will allow you to get skills. Skills are very important for your marshals, because if you have a marshal that you send against an enemy army and your general is much more skilled than him in certain things, it makes the game very easy in terms of beating armies that are similar to yours. Oh, interesting. This is one of the things that can happen in the game. Highlands has reunited with the realms of former Scotland, therefore they're now known as Scotland. There are certain formable nations in the game. One other thing that you will notice is once we conquer all of England, we will actually be able to form England, and that'll be quite fun. The Highlands here, having conquered Strathclyde, now are Scotland. Yes, that was the nation of Lothian that held Strathclyde. That's really, really cool. It doesn't always happen, but it's always really cool to see when it does.
What is your wish?
Okay, we can take another unit of peasants here.
My liege.
Guillaume is burning. You can see as you raid, a plundering bar will be under the, what's the word I'm looking for here? I don't know. Don't know what the word I'm looking for is. But you can see that it's filling. This is a progress bar. When it reaches the end here, you will see that it is done. Now, here we go. Kingdom is Priest. Ulster, yes, Ulster is very happy that we are raiding York right now, seeing that he is at war with York still. He'll like us. Ulster may be somebody to buddy-buddy with a bit. Probably not ally. In fact, I will mention one thing in this game. You almost don't need allies for anything if you play well. In fact, a lot of the time, allies can be a big drawback and actually hurt you. One time I was playing a game as the Golden Horde, who you can play in some of the later start dates. And the Ottomans were in Byzantia here, and I was having to constantly pump enormous sums of money in them just to keep them afloat, having to come down and fight their wars for them myself. It can be quite draining. In this game especially, there's no real need for an ally. If, you know, somebody comes along and proposes an alliance to us and they're decent, I might accept it, but it's not a priority. As you can see, the world around us is changing. Italy is beginning to conquer. The papacy has taken a province. Germany continues to be quite large. Hungary, Kiev. Yeah. Zirid, Zirid's gone on a heck of a run. It's always fun to see the different nations that may or may not excel in each game.
Off I go.
Okay, having 1,200 gold, we can easily increase our kingdom power, and we're going to take a skill. The only skills that I find that matter, I always take leadership, which ups your army's morale. Dread decreases the enemy's morale. I take strategist, it makes your armies faster. I take healer, it makes you recover losses. I take logistics, which makes your armies consume less food. And I take, lastly, engineering. Catapults and ballista are essential for taking cities that are walled, such as East Anglia. Yeah, or Cambria. Interesting, Wessex. Yeah, Wessex having no walls whatsoever, and walls being very expensive to build. Wessex will probably be our first target.
Yes, my lord.
Back here, another unit of peasants. Why are the East Anglians marching through our territory? No, they're at war with Brittany. I guess that makes sense. Although why they would not simply land in Brittany instead of walking through all our territory, I don't know. Yeah, see, this is... Prince Harold, if he's going to raid, makes sense. But you can see he's heading towards the settlement. There's absolutely no way he can take that settlement with a single army. He could perhaps try to starve it out, but if the enemy of Brittany has an army of similar size to him, he's wasting his time. Even on the hardest difficulty at times, this game can be... The AI can be a little dumb. And that's one of the reasons that if you play the game with intelligence and you really sort of take your time and go through things, you know, methodically, the game's very easy, even on the hardest difficulties.
What is your wish?
Now, York, very interestingly, York must be quite busy because he hasn't done anything whatsoever to stop us from raiding his province here. Nothing whatsoever. Okay. Now, I don't have a full army here, but now that I have 6 units, his army can somewhat fend for itself. I'm going to send it to York with Guillaume. Once we are here, we're going to raid targets together. Now, I could wait for the last 3 peasants in the army, but it's better to have him out in the field gaining experience so we can gain him skills. Now, as we see here, Bohemia, they want a trade agreement. I'm going to accept that. If we go to Bohemia, Bohemia is small, but having a trade agreement doesn't hurt, especially if it's not somebody you plan on attacking. In fact, if you don't plan on attacking any nations, if there's a certain nation you plan on never going to war with, take a trade agreement with them. It hurts you nothing whatsoever. It may make some countries who don't like them not like you a ton, but whatever. You know, people not liking you is fine. It's okay. Never feel bad if somebody doesn't like you in this game, because honestly, you don't need allies at all. Now, Mercia here, this is interesting. Mercia would actually be very easy in a sense to take. But I don't want to take this land yet. It's so far away from us. It would be much better once we decide to start taking land to take territory in Wessex. Kent and Cornwall are much better targets. They're just across the channel from our capital. And yeah, especially right now, too, us having mostly raided a lot of Mercia, this province will be worth next to nothing very soon.
As you wish.
Now, I could have these guys attack separate targets, but I'm going to keep them together. The armies are much stronger with each other, and I just don't want to risk possibly losing Revenant's army. Now, Brittany wants me to attack East Anglia. I'm going to tell him to suck an egg, because I think that's a horrible idea. East Anglia, I guess I could raid them, but there's no prospect of me really taking them or anything. As well, I don't see any point in building up my relationship with Brittany. I plan on attacking this guy later. I don't need his support. Whatever. I find it... Yeah, it's going to be interesting. One of our main targets are going to have to be a 2-province, because the 1-province targets, East Anglia and Wales, both have walls. Oh, one of York's armies is coming down. Earl Richard! Exciting. Now, Regano, he's going to meet up with Guillaume's army. I'm not particularly concerned. These 2 armies together can easily beat Richard's. As well, Guillaume has a unit of leadership, giving our armies more morale, making them stronger in the field. Richard will break that much easier. Very close to another point of kingdom power here. Having taken it, we're right there. I'm simply going to whip my armies at him. Battles give you much more experience than raiding does, and a good battle against Richard here will make us that much stronger. Guillaume will start the fight. We're balanced. With the 2nd army coming in, we are winning decisively. In the early part of the battle here, nobody's losing any troops, but it's noting that we're winning the battle. Now, with battles, you can play them in-game. The simulator in-game is very similar, in a sense, to the medieval Total War battle engine, a little bit, although not completely. Now, the armies are engaging. You can see by the dust being kicked up. As he loses units and his units take damage, the morale is fluctuating. Ours is quite strong. Now we are beginning to lose units here. Usually in a first engagement, the enemy will break and run instead of losing units like this, but he seems determined to fight us. You can see this army, this unit here isn't dead, it's routing, and his morale is beginning to drop as his army begins to rout. Meanwhile, we haven't taken a ton of damage yet. Taken some, we've lost a couple units, but it's very marginal. And we win. His army is, instead of just being damaged, his army is wiped. Very poor decision on his part to actually stick in the battle. I'm gonna take skills, leadership for Oregano, dread for Guillaume, and we are going to continue raiding. Now back at home in Normandy, we're going to go to buildings here for a second. There's 3 sections. First is military. We're going to ignore this for now. This isn't important to us. There's civilian buildings. These are your base economic buildings. Certain buildings, every province can have, but each province will have a different kind of resource quality. First, we have a fishery. Every coastal province will get a fishery. It simply allows you to build fishmongers. But we also have a pasture. Pastures allowed us to build sheep farms, cattle farms, and stud farms. Sheep farms will give more food, but the cattle farm and the stud farm produce resources. They produce trade goods, meat, and horses. And in advanced structures will allow us to build advanced economic buildings. Okay, I heard the game say something earlier. Yeah, the Pope called for a crusade against Cordoba. That is one thing that happens. When that happens, the country that is selected, they can say yes or no, but if they say yes, their best marshal will be turned into a crusading army. If that army is victorious, that marshal will become the ruler of a new state, which is your vassal, interestingly enough. Now here we can already build some of these buildings, a market or a bakery, but these are very expensive buildings. Not just in terms of gold, but you can see 500 worker, 400. Eventually we can build a library here. Give us a book. Books are used to upgrade certain of your court, certain members of your court, as well as used to adopt population, the most important thing you can do with it. Now, there's nothing really we can build here that's of use right now.
Yes, my lord.
I think it's actually much more important for us to focus on the raiding in order to build up our kingdom power, seeing as that it's not going to take much more to get the next 2 levels. Oh, there we go. East Anglia wiped Brittany. He must have sieged him out and forced a fight. That can happen. He must have forced a fight with the Britannians and attacked him.
Political view.
Although I feel bad that Brittany's gone, we did have a trade agreement that did like us. East Anglia holding Brittany is actually really good for us, because now this territory, we don't have a trade agreement with this territory anymore. In fact, we have no agreements whatsoever with any of those that we need to attack to achieve the territory goal that I've set out for this campaign. Italy is eliminated Burgundy. Italy is actually getting quite strong. One of the things that you'll notice in the game at times is that nations can get very big very quickly and get wiped very quickly. Poland here, yeah, Poland's gotten enormous. Novgorod is doing quite well. The game can actually at times, in terms of the countries and what the countries hold, be quite volatile. It's one of the things I actually find quite fun about the game. Oh, Wessex has declared war on York. They're going to start fighting each other. Good for them. I don't particularly care. Wessex being at war with York actually is good for us in that it will make it easier to attack Wessex. Which is actually what I may focus on doing next after bringing Kingdom Power to full. Is filling these 2 armies and beginning to take these two territories. Having 2 more territories would actually be quite useful for us right now. Now, when I attack these territories, I'm going to raid the monasteries. I won't raid the farms or the villages, because those provide good resources for us. But I will provide, I will raid the monasteries. They provide us with piety. We have no use for piety after our Kingdom power is maxed out for a very long time, so I'm not even going to bother with it.
Destroy
What
this.
is
We
your
have
wish?
one last
Destroy
thing in
this
this
nest of
province to
scum.
raid. We might as well finish them off. Very soon, we will be able to really take this somewhere. Now, Reno has 4 space open. As soon as I have the money, I'll be able to take this. Oh,
Political
interesting.
view.
Oh, Bulgaria was
At your
white.
service.
Okay, that'll allow us to get a new trade agreement. 0 and 13. Very nice. That'll be a big bump to us. What are these others making for us? Sweden is, Kiev is 4. I didn't really see anything better than
Political
4.
view.
We're a little stronger now, so I'm going to actually talk to some of these guys. Here we go. We are going to break this agreement. Kiev can screw off. We're going to take Byzantium. 31 gold. At the same time, I'm going to offer one of the Fatimids, a great trading partner. Sweden, I don't care about you. We are going to go with the Fatimids. We have significantly increased our economic output to 104. This is going to be a great boon for us. It seems Ulster took this territory. That nullifies our raid on it, because we are not at war with Ulster. We're simply going to leave. We're going to come back here. We're going to pick up these 5 troops, fill out our armies. We're going to replenish these armies' food. And then we're going to begin our war with Wessex.
Now that I am more skilled, I want a raise.
Things are actually moving quite swimmingly right now. Yes, with 104 power. Holy moly, 3450 kingdom power. Kingdom power... Yes, kingdom power also depends somewhat upon your wealth. Since we're gaining wealth at a very rapid rate as well, it's going to charge us more. Not a problem, however. The last United Kingdom power, I'll simply take it when I can. We can begin our assault on Wessex while we're waiting for that amount of money to come out. It's not a big deal at all. Now, we have Scotland. Ulster has taken part of York. Wessex is at war with York right now, so if he's going to actually follow through with this, his armies are going to be up here. He'll almost be completely defenseless. Rule of Wessex. I love that the countries in the game, at the starts at least, are somewhat historical. You know, the time Godwin, is ruling Wessex and East Anglia, Everard, York is Duke Robert. France, you have Hugo Capet. Germany's Otto the First. It's somewhat historical. Byzantium, Basilius. I don't know if that's necessarily, but Leinster wants a trade agreement. We think not. You wouldn't provide us with any money, and we want to kill you someday. We're not going to tie our hands like that. Oh, Guillaume. Come on. There you go. We're going to fill up food. We're going to replenish Reginald's troops and replenish him with food, fill him up. And I think Kent is going to be our first target. Here, we're simply going to fill up food wagon. Reginald, we're going to move you into the city. We are going to select and move over these units. We're going to hit refill all, which replenishes troops. We're going to fill up your food as well. Now, seeing that we're making 104, we're actually not going to even bother raiding these monasteries. The raids would provide us with actually, no, I've changed my mind. The raids would provide us with experience, yes. Experience is a very important resource this early in the game. Yeah, they're not even defending themselves. We're going to declare war. Now, his relationship with us was calm. These guys actually kind of liked us a little bit, so feel a little bad. But at times, you have to be cutthroat. You can't worry about what he thinks of you. Not going to raid this monastery. It's too far out, but I'll raid these 3 here, and then we'll take this province. At some point, Wessex may come back and attack us. We'll see. But if he does, he does. If he doesn't, even better. we'll simply wipe his armies. Having 2 armies together means we can combine our strength and easily deal with him. If he comes at us with 2 armies, we'll run away back to our home province. In this game, never put your armies in a position to fail. Always go into a battle knowing that you have the best chance to succeed, and if you do that, you will almost always be victorious. We're going to build a tool smithy back in our home base. It's going to give us an extra worker. Not necessarily the most important thing to build, but extra workers is good and it will allow us to do other things later. After that, I'm going to save up the money to upgrade the docks. 2 more food, 1 more gold, and it will allow us to build some other buildings later. France and Pamplona have signed an alliance. Lotharingia is actually expanding into Italy. Yeah, things are fairly stable at the moment in the world. Poland continues to get large, although I think he is at... No, he's not at war with Lithuania. Oh, he lost a province to Bohemia. Sorry. Now, Byzantium is a nation I actually would really like to play. They have very good units.
What is your wish?
One of the things I'll take the time to show you at the moment, too, if you go in here, is that there are different kinds of units. You get local units, which are peasants, swordsmen, archers, men-at-arms. They require different buildings to build them. They're decent, you know, they'll fill out an army, you know, get you some good results, but you don't really want to go for these unless you have to. Local special units are very, very fun. Each province may have a local special unit to build. Feudal Knights, you can see it requires a ton to build them. Horses, a stable, but a plate armor and sword master smithy are actually quite expensive as well. The unit is very expensive. But Feudal Knights are one of the best units in the game by far. Oh, Wessex is coming at us. I did not notice that. We could beat this army on our own, but no need to take more damage than necessary. Guillaume will begin, Reginald will come in. Yeah, nothing to worry about. See, you can see here, this is good. Having 11 workers, that building is built so quick. Seeing that, I'm actually going to build a church next instead of the docks. We'll build the docks after. Churches provide books and piety. It's important to have a church in every province you can. Anytime you can begin accumulating books, do it. Ooh.
Sire, we have won a battle.
Oh boy. Rome has been conquered. That's exciting. I've done it before. You can see the Catholic world hates Sicily now. They hate them so much. Now, Sicily is Muslim, so they obviously don't care. But, yes, if you conquer them, oh boy. Oh. York here actually really likes what we did. To tie up a loose end, I should have done this already. We're actually going to end this war. We're just going to offer York white peace. Yeah, we attacked Wessex. He was really happy with that. He'll just let us go. He's not going to do anything to us, but there's no need to still be at war with him. Upon our armies piling in here to this monastery, it's actually time for me to go. This has been Azanar with another episode of Knights of Honor. Hit like if you like this video, subscribe if you really, really enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.